Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back from the ad break. My next guest joining me via Zoom is Roshan Dadoo, who's an activist and member of the South African BDS Coalition. We will be speaking about the event that she's actually organizing about the Global Energy Embargo campaign against the Israel human rights abuses. Now, Roshan's insight on the movement and this important event are crucial to our understanding of the global justice or struggle for justice, rather. Welcome to Prime Life, and thank you so much for joining us, Roshan.
Thanks so much for inviting us onto the show.
Thank you. So now, just getting right into it, could you tell us more about the energy embargo campaign and why it's so essential to stop South African coal exports to Israel?
Yes, I mean, firstly, importantly, this is a call from Palestine. The Palestinian-led Global Energy Embargo campaign and the Palestinian BDS movement, they're calling on the international community and, of course, South Africa in particular, to help bring an end to the genocide, the unlawful occupation, the system of apartheid by demanding a full energy embargo on Israel. And it may surprise viewers to know that since October 2023, we, South Africa, have sent 7 ships carrying around 496 kilotons of coal to Israel. It's actually the largest export from South Africa to Israel. And this constitutes around 15% of Israel's total coal consumption over this period. And the coal goes to feed the Israeli national electricity grid, which obviously enables Israel to generate power for illegal settlements, to run its military industrial complex and arms industry, and to continue its relentless bombardment and genocide of the Palestinian people in Gaza. So we are directly fueling the illegal occupation and the genocide. And so we're calling on South Africa to implement immediately a coal embargo because it's a very small amount of coal that we mine that goes to Israel. It's less than 0.2% of our coal exports. So it's really not going to have an impact on our economy. We know there's a massive international demand for our coal as well, so there are plenty of other markets. But it's a significant source of energy for Israel. So cutting off this supply would really help to hinder Israel's ability to sustain its war efforts now expanding. We saw into Lebanon, now into Syria. It cannot continue to do this without the support of America for the weaponry and countries that are supplying energy sources like our coal, Nigerian oil. We have to stop this because we now have legal obligations to prevent and to punish genocide. And this is from our provisional measures. It's the very case we took against Israel under the Genocide Convention at the ICJ. In addition, the advisory opinion and the General Assembly vote on implementing that advisory opinion, which South Africa voted in favor of course, calls for an end to complicity with the illegal occupation and apartheid. And so it further entrenches the legal obligations on all third-party states, including South Africa, to impose sanctions. And of course, finally, it's the very same call we made on the international community during our struggle against
that are making sure that there's an end, or we put an end to this. Now, I do know that the South African BDS Coalition has brought together activists from diverse regions and movements for this event. What do you hope to achieve by bridging these struggles together?
Well, firstly, the event on Sunday is a hybrid event. We're going to gather in Joburg, but we're also hooking up at 6 o'clock South African time with comrades in Colombia. Now, Colombia earlier this year did cut coal sales. The president announced a coal embargo, and that was followed up later by the relevant regulations. And Colombia was the largest exporter of coal. We follow closely behind in second or third place. So we want to link up with the Colombian comrades because we want to hear and learn and share experiences with them on how did they manage to persuade their government or pressure their government into implementing a coal embargo. So from the Colombian side, they're going to be also gathering in 2 places, in Bogota and also in Medellin, having similar kinds of in-person events and then joining up with us all together and with comrades in Palestine from the global campaign at, well, it'll be 6 p.m. South Africa time. And the speakers from the Colombian side include the leadership of Sintra Carbon, which is the huge mining trade union, and a representative from the Indigenous Peoples Movement, because they were both instrumental, along with Palestine solidarity activists and environmental justice activists, in getting Colombia to declare a coal embargo. So we here are also bringing together environmental justice activists, mining affected communities, trade unionists, solidarity activists, because our struggles interconnect. And so we are arguing that it is one struggle in giving solidarity to Palestine. We are also giving solidarity to ourselves and helping us as South Africa look for new ways to do business, new ways to generate power, new ways for a just transition towards renewable energy that is driven by workers and communities, as is the case in Colombia.
Now, the hybrid event that you are organizing sounds like a powerful gathering of, what do you call this, activists, and also it's coming as a form of solidarity and creativity, and it comes with a lot of strategic planning. Now, can you give us more details on this event, and including what attendees can also expect? Take us through the event itself, how it starts and how it's going to end.
Okay, well, in Joburg, we're going to be starting at 2 p.m. We're meeting at the Spaza Art Gallery, which is a lovely community art space. And so the Spaza Gallery, they have a lot of mosaic artists. And so we're going to start with, at 2 p.m., a workshop on how to make a watermelon mosaic. So we'll be making the mosaics and then learning how to mount them, and discussing how we can use it for solidarity work, because we hope that this will be the start of making large numbers of mosaics so that we can mount them all over Joburg and beyond, on our homes and in communities, as a symbol of our solidarity. And then from 4 to 6 p.m., there'll be various poets and musicians and storytellers. And there's also exhibitions on in the gallery, photography and paintings and portraits by a range of activist artists. And so we thought it would be nice, although it's hard to talk about having fun during a time like this, but it is important to gather together. And as the year's drawing to a close, I think for activists to find community and to come together is also important. So then at 6 o'clock, we'll be joining up for the meeting with our Colombian and Palestinian comrades. And after that, we'll have a discussion on how we can take forward the energy embargo campaign here in South Africa going forward into the new year.
I like that this the whole movement is very creative, made very fun. Unlike usually when people stand in solidarity or they do these marches, it's very like intense and very serious. But with this, it's inviting creatives and also artistic people to also come and express themselves in their way. Or to show that they actually stand in solidarity with. Sorry about that. So now, before I let you go, for our viewers who want to get involved, what would be the best way to stay informed, to participate and join in on this fun? Because it's not just fun. It's also, showing that South Africans and also people globally are also standing with what's happening in Palestine. And most importantly, we are not forgetting them. So how do we join in on this fun?
Yes, no, I think it is important. It's coming together as South Africans and also coming together with comrades in other parts of the global South and Palestine. It's important, to feel that sense of solidarity. So I suggest that people follow us on Instagram, SA_BDS Coalition, and at SABDS Coalition on Twitter and Facebook, or also to email us on sabdscoalition@gmail.com, and we'll definitely get back to you. We're hoping people will be able to join the joint meeting. Also, we'll have the link and be able to send that to people if you can't actually come in person to the gatherings. But I think it'll be a very exciting and important way to press forward and put pressure on our government and on our private companies, who also will be held complicit if they continue to fuel the genocide.
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us and actually, continue doing the great work that you do. Before I let you go, is there anything that you'd like to share with the viewers in terms of expectations or any message that you'd like to give to them before I let you go?
I think we have to keep the pressure on our government to implement, because we're increasingly being seen as hypocritical for taking the ICJ case and then continuing to trade, to have arts and sports and diplomatic even. We haven't quite cut all diplomatic relations. And we have to be pushing our government following the ICJ case to continue that stand and push for international sanctions against apartheid Israel and demand that there's a ceasefire and end to the occupation, and a return of the refugees.
No, most definitely. I was quite shocked about the numbers that you've mentioned and how, you know, how this has been contributing to what's happening in Palestine. But thank you so much for joining us, Roshan.
Thank you, and thank you to the listeners.
Thank you
And
so
forward
much.
to a free Palestine.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Viewers at home, we will be taking a quick ad break. We will see you right after this.